Right. The evolution's diverse framework and the evolution's diverse mix of its framework. So, like we said before, evolution exists. And because evolution exists, it means that the diverse framework also exists. Now, the creation of realms. Realms are a containment of a volume of infinity. And because realms are a containment of a volume of infinity, anything you drop into it becomes an infinite realm of all creational mix. Now, because it becomes an infinite realm of all creational mix, then it means that the mathematical principles are dictated in the realm's outer casing. So, mathematical principles build realms. The principles of the realms are specific to each area. The realm of dark matter and its density and its capability of holding things inside what we call open free space is a veil. It's a 360-degree empty veil, but it's a veil nonetheless. It's got an outer circumference, it's got a mathematical principle that creates it and made it. And because it's dark matter, and because all things in creation have a portion of dark matter, it means that in its density, it is a dark matter veil. So, open empty space, if it's a huge amount of open empty space, is a veil. And the veil covers all the things that are outside of it. All the existence of creation outside the veil, right, covers it. Now, if you expanded this veil to basically just block and cover all known existence, right, then you can pass through the whole of the framework of every single thing and not see it, but it will exist in your realm, in its density. Even though nothing holds nothing, it will hold the rest of creational's principles, right, in its density. So, it holds back the known realm of, let's say, the void, right? And the void holds back the known realm of mathematics. And it's held in separation. But because it's a three-dimensional existence, and because it's a dense existence of three dimensions, all these separated dimensions are not separated even though the veil covers them. It's like having a piece of paper and you place it over your hand, right? When you can hide your hand, right, with, say, dark matter, then you are in a different realm area of a three dimensions. It's not a different dimension, it's just a different area of a three dimensions. And the paper is another three dimensions. Now, because it covers a three dimension, and it is also a three dimension, the saturation of it means that all other principles are connected to the empty realm, which means you can specifically target in open space an area where there would be a mathematical principle appear. And because it's dense in 360 degrees in all degree segments, you can calculate a mathematical sum outside the realm of dark matter or open space. And it will appear in the realm as a piece of creational matter being put together. And it will appear as being put together until it hits the density to be identified in visibility. So it becomes visible. And that's where light plays its calculations. Light comes in, hits it, reveals it, knows it's there, and reflects all the necessary messages to identify what it is. So if it's a rock, it will show as a rock. And if it's anything else, like a gas, it will show as a gas. Or if it's a dust particle, it will show as a dust particle. If it's anything else that's created in the realm of physical reality, of the rainbow vision of light, it is also detectable with your visibility. But of course, in the realm of the invisible also exists in dark matter. So the realm of the invisible exists, and that is a wave function of a wave frequency which you can detect with the relevant equipment, which we all know, and physically see it. So we know that there are realms of invisible, and we know that there are realms of visible. But because dark matter exists in its density, it means that it's a veil that covers the framework of the whole of creation. And because it's a veil, there are different densities of dark matter veiling. There's a whole load of things. There's light veils, there's dark matter veils, there is physical things that will hide other things because of their brightness, and it will create a bright veil of darkness that blocks all other light and won't allow that light to pass beyond the main physical light, which is the dominant light. So because it won't allow it, but it is still detectable. Even though the light is a big light and the dominant light, in the veil light around it, which is extremely dark, right, which is a dark veil, you can detect these other lights behind it, right, even though you can't see it. Now, veils are only as good as they are when it comes to the distance that you're at. So it's all to do with your positioning. So as you are physically seeing a hidden object, if you got closer and closer and closer and closer and closer, the light that's being saturated and taken by the dark, right, is being blocked. You will get to a point where you'll start to see the saturated light being soaked in to the other side of the veil. So it's all visible on that side of the veil, not visible on this side of the veil. But when you get close enough, it's transparent. And because it's transparent in its density, you will eventually pick up signals of little bits of light wave, right? That the main light blocked and cut it out when you were far away. Now, when you're far away, you can still detect those little bits of light, right, being emanated through the darkness. So there is a pass-through, but not a massive pass-through. It means that the saturation of light is saturated into the veil and is diffused. So it's like a filter. Now, natural light filters are a physical scientific reality. You can filter light. And a natural light filter and natural light filtering exists. And we won't go into too much detail because people of certain bits of education will know that there are many different light filters. So because of the reality of all of this, and on the bigger scale of dark matter, and it being a veil and covering the framework of everything else, is also a physical reality. Because even though you can't see the mathematics in creation, and it does exist, the mathematical layer, but it's not physically visible. Not physically visible for you to be able to have a look at, let's say. Now, there are people that believe in certain faiths of existence, where some of these mathematical principles can be seen, right, and seen as light symbols, right? Now, whether they exist or not, I don't know. But what I do know, the knowledge that they hold of a light symbol or a light, it's not a seal as such, but it's knowledge of information in light. Now that I know does exist. Now, whether it forms a circle and forms lettering and forms certain areas of other contained mathematical principles, which is how you can represent, let's say, a contained light mathematic principle, in the sense of that it will create this particular image, right? But in the reality of life, what I would love to prove is that light will build an image of a containment of a symbol, right? Now, if it matches these other bits of old and ancient knowledge and information of light seals or light symbols, I don't know. But it will create a natural image. And these natural images we can physically get hold of. Now, some of the natural images are based on vibration. And the vibrational natural images of light vibration does build patterns, and it builds frequency recognition, and it builds frequency light containment. Now, these resonance images are the things that I would look for in the reality of the scientific life, and say that these resonances that can build these light frequencies and these patterns are the ones that the old and ancients were looking for. Now, because all of that is real, it means that science knowledge of science can be the most enlightening and the most understanding and the most real faith in creation that you can hold and really run with. And like I say, once you get to know certain bits of only good knowledge, right, and drop the knowledge of any evil, then you'll be in a realm of goodness rather than the realm of, let's say, evil, right? We know it exists in life, the reality of life, and there are people that are evil. And we know that all of this is a physical reality, so there's no point denying the fact of it, or try and bring a doubt in people's minds that are in faith. So, let's not be a doubt bringer, or a Christian doubting Thomas, or whispers in your ears type people of, is bananas, right? Let's stick to the reality of truth and the reality of life, because otherwise you'll end up in an area of being in court and made illegal and interfering. So we'll leave it there.